I see a lot of people on social media sharing this post that are now realizing that First Nations are directly affected on what decisions are made in the provincial level and on the federal level, and even on the municipal level. And I'm seeing a lot of people on social media tag in Member of Parliament Jaime Batiste to do something about it. The budget and what cuts are made at the provincial level. Member of Parliament Jaime Batiste is federal. There's nothing Jaime Batiste can do other than issue a statement of condemnation or disappointment, because he has free speech just like all of us. But that crosses political etiquette, I would say, or I can't really pronounce it, etiquette, where typically different levels of government don't really enter each other's spheres. Or political space is a better word, I guess. If you can think of it this way, it's like asking the mayor of the Cape Breton Regional Municipality to criticize or do something about your chief in your community. It's just not appropriate. It's politically etiquette. It's just not cool to do that. So I'm sorry, English is not my first language. So all these people asking him to do something, it's really not fair to him, asking him to do something where he has no power or jurisdiction to do something about it. You have to understand there's two different levels of government. There's the federal, and then there's the provincial, and then there's a separation of powers from each of them that is provided by the 1982 Constitution, and that gives us the law that makes Canada Canada. It also allows the provinces to be independent from the state, providing democracy for all of Canada, or ensuring democracy is in Canada. This post only demonstrates what I've been saying for years, that First Nations don't live in a bubble. What happens at the municipal, provincial, and federal level all directly affects us in each individual small community. And what chief and councils do is they have to take direction from, or decisions made from all those different provincial and federal and municipal levels, and they have to integrate that into their own governance system within their communities. They too, each First Nation community also has its own governance structure where they're also autonomous and independent and separate from all other jurisdictions. So governance is kind of tricky, but it's kind of fun once you start to understand it. Back to my story. This highlights the very, very importance that we as First Nations living on First Nation communities have to get out and vote in all forms of elections. That means provincial, federal, and municipal. You have to get just as excited for all of these other elections and get just as enthusiastic and get a high voter turnout for these different elections, because it directly impacts us. And you're seeing that now. I mean, that's why I'm so interested in geopolitics. I mean, my God, I get excited for Japan's elections or elections in Italy or elections in South Africa. Like it all impacts us in a way that, because we are all interconnected, just like how First Nations are interconnected with the province and to the federal government. We have this notion, this belief, this idea that because we live in First Nation communities, that we don't vote in these other elections, that it doesn't affect us. We have this belief. And so during provincial and federal and municipal elections, we have low voter turnout from communities in these elections, when we have direct control and say who's member of parliament, who's provincial MLA, and who is a councillor in a provincial ridings. During the federal election and working with different people all across Canada, we identified 36 communities, First Nation communities, that have a direct say on who's going to be member of parliament in their riding. And I can guarantee you, in provincial elections, the number is going to be much larger than 36. If you want to stop these things from happening to First Nations, we have to get out and vote. So let this be a lesson. if the budget is passed, then it's a done deal. There's nothing we can do about it. But we can plan for the future. We can plan for the next 3 years to make sure that we have direct control and say who's elected in the provincial election, next election, and get Tim Houston out. Put up people from your own community to run in provincial elections, or support people that are running in your riding that will directly support your community. So my message to all First Nations: get involved. Complaining and sharing things on social media, it's great. It brings attention. Now take that attention and transform it into action. Anyways, you stay deadly.